Looking for someone I guess.
Okay, welcome back. We still don't have a name.
Yeah. We're talking about Trespass today.
Yay.
Last time we talked about Genesis to Revelation. I guess we're going to probably mostly go through their whole discography. We might take a few interludes for other things. We're going to talk about the new Paul McCartney album that's coming out, which is pretty cool. So we'll do other things, but we're both big Genesis fans, so we enjoyed just talking about Genesis too.
Yeah.
And we haven't quite gotten to the part of the discography that's like peak yet, but Trespass is, as kind of a beginning thing, I feel like kind of the start of like, okay, this is really Genesis now, you know? And some people would say Nursery Rhyme is that, and in some ways, yes.
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely they've arrived.
Like, this is, I think, their next, however many albums, up to like, really late into the discography, I feel like Trespass lays the groundwork for like, what a Genesis album is, in terms of like lyrically, conceptually,
it's
musically.
very defining,
yes, very defining. And yeah, people will say, oh, Phil's not in it yet, Steve's not in it yet. But screw them, because,
Didn't he start performing with Genesis pretty much right after this was released?
Yes, so
Because it's
Anthony
funny. Go ahead.
Phillips, their guitarist in this one, who I think I said in the last one, I think he's pretty good. I don't quite like him as much as Steve. But he had like very bad stage fright, so he was like, I can't do this like all the time. So he left before the album actually came out. Obviously, he did all of the recording on it. But then Steve joined. One of the songs, the last song on the album, The Knife, was performed with their classic lineup on Genesis Live. So that one kind of gets brought around a lot. So they did perform some of this with that lineup. But yeah.
I love this album. It changes. It's in flux a lot. I would say generally this remains in my top 3 Genesis albums.
Spoiler.
But I know, sorry. But that's a good framework for understanding where I'm coming from with this album. Because again, I did start listening to Genesis in chronological order, and this is the album where I was like, ooh, okay, I kind of slugged through their debut album, like, oh, things are getting really, really interesting now for me. And I love it. So it kind of oscillates between 3 and 4 for me overall. But if you ask me to put on a Genesis album, there's a very good chance that this will be one of the ones I put on the car ride or something like that.
I don't think I would put it, and obviously, I guess we'll find out. But I wouldn't quite put it that high. But I do put it quite high, especially compared to the last one.
I'm easy to please.
Yeah. It's a great album. I think it's really good. Yeah. So I guess a little history on this one. They had gotten a recording deal from Charisma after kind of touring around for a few years after. Well, I guess. Was Genesis Revelation, was that 1969? Mm-hmm. So that touring that year, they'd gotten a deal from Charisma. On this one, John Mayhew is on drums, which I don't think he's a bad drummer. A lot of people kind of throw around that, oh, this album is good, but the drumming kind of sucks. I'm not a drummer. You're not a drummer. So I can't say too much. But it does feel it's competent. Yeah, I think it suits the material pretty well. A lot of this music on this album, and this is not a bad thing, but I think some of it kind of feels like Ren Fair music that would like play.
We'll get to that. I have things to say about that. Yes.
But this is very pastoral of an album.
Very pastoral.
Where
very folk prog.
It doesn't. I don't think it needs like the fill type drumming throughout most of it.
Yeah,
like in a Knife,
point.
maybe, I think, yes, some people prefer the Genesis Live version of Knife because, oh, you've got Steve on guitar, you've got Phil on drums, and I think that adds to that. But I don't think, like, on like a Dusk or Stagnation, like, would we have really needed Phil on drums?
Right.
Like, not really. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he'd be great, but...
I feel like also the focal point of those songs is so the lush roaming melodic quality to those songs. I don't feel like I need really complex drum parts.
Yeah. So as far as drumming goes, we're pretty satisfied with it. I think it suits the album fine. I guess I'll talk a little bit about Anthony Phillips. His kind of 12-string sound, I think, is another very defining like Genesis thing that kind of started here and was on the last one a little bit. But that sound of, okay, you've got electric guitar as well. And I do think, kind of moving forward, I think I prefer his electric sound. But I think John has a great, like, 12-string sound, a great finger-picking sound that I think really suits this album. Again, very pastoral, very folky. I was saying, like, because we were talking about, like, okay, who would we tell to start with their first album? Like, and it's like, nobody really. If you're trying to get in Genesis, don't really start with the first one. And for the most part, I would say there are other albums to start with before this one, unless you're maybe a Jethro Tull fan. Because it's like folk prog. I think throughout this album,
early Kansas maybe.
Yeah, I think Peter Gabriel's flute playing is very like not front and center per se, but it seems much more pronounced in this album. I notice it a lot more. It's kind of used for texture in a lot of their upcoming albums, but this one I notice it a lot more. I feel. So that's another, I guess, Toll connection. In the Court of the Crimson King was also very influential on them for this one, as it was for every prog musician in 1969, 70, you know.
Yeah. I think more on Peter Gabriel. I really think he's coming into his theatrical and angsty style a lot more with this album as well. His vocal performances, I think, are a notable upgrade from the previous album, but I really like seeing his musical and artistic evolution just in the jump between the two albums.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think, like, this album, again, we kind of said this is, like, feels like the real true start of really what Genesis would become. And I think a lot of that is also with Gabriel, where I wouldn't say that he evolves too much more throughout their next few albums, because it's really good here.
Sorry, I just thought of something funny. It's completely unrelated to what you're saying.
Okay. I was like, is it me that you're laughing at? King's Angels? But no, I think Gabriel really shines in this one, both vocally and also his flute playing is quite good.
I mean, he kind of copied Lizzo, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, he did copy Lizzo. He kind of stole that. I think she was playing with Crimson at the time, right? King Crimson.
Yeah.
She was on that one, yeah. Now, one thing, and I don't regret this, one thing we did not talk about in talking about Genesis to Revelation, we did not talk about the cover art at all.
We did not.
Because what cover art? Exactly. What cover art, right? I think this suits the album, I guess, because it's...
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But this is their first time working with Paul Whitehead, who would go on to also do the covers for Nursery Crime and Foxtrot. So that's another kind of... To lump them in with those ones of this is really Genesis, you know, despite the lack of Steve and Phil.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna stick with a solid color album cover, at least be Metallica or the Beatles, you know.
Yeah. I think the album cover really suits the sound of the album. It's blue.
Yes. Kind of icy.
It's very icy and kind of nicey icy color. It's got the kind of medieval Renaissance feel. One thing you lose on streaming is the back of it, the knife, which kind of slashes through. That's why you get the line there, which I think is cool. Yes. But I think the album cover suits it a lot. It's good.
Is
good
that
cover.
Sky or Coast? It's Sky, right?
I think that's Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, is it Sky and Coast? Because that kind of, well...
Because I can't tell if that's waves or clouds.
So it looks like waves.
I've always seen it as the sky. But
I've seen it as sky, I think, yeah.
It looks coastal.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it is really cool art.
I guess we can also take out this to see it a bit better. Here you get the gatefold of the knife slashing through. Very nice. We were talking about whether that's sky or coast. In the comments, you guys tell us whether it's sky or coast.
Sorry.
Vote now.
Vote.
Who wins? Who's next? But yeah, I'm glad they brought this guy back for the next one. It's good. Good cover.
Should we talk about the songs?
We should talk about the songs.
You start.
So starting with track 1 is
Looking for someone.
I love this song. I think it's great.
Song.
Great opening. We mentioned on the last one that starting with Gabriel's voice front and center, I think is really smart. It's a very striking kind of raspy, but kind of baritone. I don't know if he's baritone quite. He's got a good range.
But I would say that just that line is the earworm of this album. Like,
Yeah.
if I hear Trespass, that's immediately the vocal line, I think.
Yeah.
Which I think is, and I guess same for Genesis and Revelation. That's like,
Sign of a solid opener,
Yeah.
I think.
for sure.
One thing I will say, I mentioned this a little bit with Anthony Phillips. I don't quite like his electric playing quite as much as Steve. I do like it. But when it first comes on this one,
His
with
electric playing.
his electric guitar playing with dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, it's like a little out of tune. And it sounds like a little sloppy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's like the one thing that I don't like about this as an opener is like when the full band kind of comes in, because it's just Gabriel and kind of Tony on the chords at the beginning. And then when the drums and guitar come in and dun 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 dun, I think the guitar is just a little pitchy or sloppy. But I don't have that complaint for really the rest of the album at all. Even this song. So
I think this song has really great momentum and energy to it, which, again, a really strong opener. Around, I think I just wrote the timestamp. Around 4:45, which I 4 minutes and 45 seconds of the song. That's not super concrete or helpful. It almost, keeping with the Renaissance, or really more our modern idea of Renaissance and folklore, it almost sounds like guards are getting into place and they're gonna start marching. It's a little too like on the nose and a little too hear ye, but I do like that change. I think it's fun.
yeah, I do like. There's a line in this that says "hurts me like a dagger,"
Easter egg.
which is there's a couple like half the songs in this mention like a dagger or knife. I don't know how intentional that was. Like, oh, we're calling like because like the knife is on the album cover kind of, and then the knife is the closer, and that's the one that everyone kind of talks about probably the most in this album. But I think it's cool. I think it's a cool little Easter egg that kind of ties it together. Yeah, this one, and then I like when it kind of gets a little moodier, where it's like, I wrote down, like, Lost in a subway.
Yes.
And it's got kind of all the nice textures of the organ, and again, this one, we mentioned the other one as well. These first two albums are really the only two albums in the discography where you have the whole band really doing backing vocals. So it actually sounds like, multiple people singing together as opposed to just like Pete and Phil. And there's that in it, and then the guitar part, which is cool. So I like this. I think it's a strong opener. It's a good representation, I think, of what we can expect from the album, too. There's a lot of different sonic textures that are present throughout the album. But yeah, this one's really good.
Very good. Track 2, White Mountain.
I like this one a lot, too.
Tony's playing is just unmatched, I
Yeah,
feel like.
Tony's great. There's
said
mention
nonchalant.
of...
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good, yeah. There's mention of a fox in this one, which is a Foxtrot reference. Things to come. Yeah. I don't have too much to say about this one, honestly. I really like it. I think there's a part through in maybe the middle where it kind of gets a nice like that kind of reminds me of like yeah the
Don't they do that again in this song, or am I mistaken?
in White Mountain. Like they do it multiple times.
No, like that. I think this is also one of the more rhythmically interesting songs on the album. But like Don't they do dun dun dun?
Oh yes,
Dun,
yeah,
dun,
that's what
dun,
I'm referring
dun,
to. Yeah,
dun. Yeah.
but they kind of get into that kind of bouncy, kind of galloping sound.
You're literally okay. Like I'm on a horse. Like that's totally what it feels like.
This is just because I've been listening to a lot of Iron Maiden recently, but that Iron Maiden has that kind of famously kind of gallopy kind of sound that reminded me of.
Yeah, for sure.
So Genesis invented punk and metal, and Iron Maiden copied them.
Iron Maiden is my favorite punk band. So yeah, I do. I really like the in lore with this album. To my knowledge, like Fang as a character and kind of whatever is going on in the song, I don't even feel like I have a good grasp of it. From my knowledge, it doesn't pull from any folk tales. It just kind of feels like they made it up and they're like, let's go with it. But Tony Banks, in a lot of their music, especially their later music, he pulls from so many literary references.
Yeah. And
English writers, I think is really cool. But that's just like a fun, like, okay, this is as prog as it can get. Just like go with it, this random tale.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. I like it.
And I really like, and we'll see it a lot in this album and future albums of kind of a mixture of literature, folk tales, and Christianity, like as like lyrical inspiration. Obviously, we saw that in the last album too. But I think we see it here a little bit. And I think it's again, this is kind of the groundwork for like what a Genesis album is, and even lyrically. Track 3 is Visions of Angels. This one I like. It's probably one of my lesser favorites.
I also did a ranking of all the songs. This was last place for me.
Yeah. I think this was last place for me too. Yeah, this was last place for me.
It's definitely not commercial per se, but it's just not as interesting.
I think, if I remember correctly, in some of my reading about this album, I think this one was one that they had written mostly during Genesis to Revelation, and obviously it evolved and they transformed it. But
sense.
Visions of Angels are that could be on Genesis related, like that kind of
more lo-fi,
poppy-ish lo-fi chorus. There are parts of this that I like a lot. I like the religious imagery a lot. I think it's cool. But otherwise, I will listen to this one and enjoy it in the album. I don't specifically go and listen to this one just to listen to it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like the tone of the lyrics. That's kind of all I can say. It's like, it was my last, but I don't hate it. I would still say it probably sweeps most songs off of Genesis to Revelation.
I would say it's better than most of what's on Genesis to Revelation. Just to, I guess we could even mention, I genuinely think it's quite astounding how much of a quality shift there is between their first and second album. Genesis, from the beginning, were always kind of mostly a studio-oriented group, which I think is really interesting, because a lot of the early prog groups kind of grew and made their name by how much of a good live act they were. Like at Pink Floyd, they had these great, elaborate, kind of cool stage lighting things, and they would mix other art with it. And they kind of were known as this fantastic live band that then went on to do a lot of good recording things. And most of their stuff they tested live. Genesis is kind of unique because they did live stuff and they did tour, but I've heard stories of like very early on, there would be more people on stage performing than people in the crowd watching, and it'd be like their moms, you know? But I think this album really exemplifies like, even their second album, 1 year after their first one, they were doing really complex, really strong studio material.
Yeah, the musicianship is always there.
Yeah.
Track 4 is Stagnation. I love this one.
I love this one too.
It's so transportive, it's so lush. This is actually my favorite song off the album. Which I know most people like the ninth the most.
Yeah.
But this is
We're not most people.
Yeah.
This one's pretty high for me.
Yeah.
I think it's like, honestly, I would change my song ranking since the last time I made it. This one's probably 2 or 3 for me.
Interesting. Well, if it was 3, what would be above it?
Dusk.
Really?
I really like Dusk, which we'll get to in just a minute. we'll talk
He
about
always
this.
does this. I'll make
Well,
a
I'm
passing
saying-
comment about
no,
other songs. He's like, shut up, we'll talk about. I'm like,
No, I'm just
we'll
saying.
talk about
Well,
it.
I'll talk about why. I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it or shouldn't mention it. I'm just saying, hey, I will talk about it.
Can I talk to you over here for a second? You're doing this really patronizing thing where if I mention something, you're like, oh, we'll talk about it later. I know. So get your head in the fucking game, okay?
I love to talk about Genesis. Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, this. I like this one a lot.
Yeah. I think it foreshadows nursery crime a lot. And even selling England, dare I say. Again, very pastoral. But I love this song.
There's a mention of an ice cold knife in this. Which another reference to the knife.
I'm just kidding.
Knife? What?
What?
I think it was his idea of a joke.
What?
I like Tony Banks' organ solo on this a lot. I read that apparently they would turn on and off the organ so it'd get that kind of sound as it was turning off.
Cool.
Fact check me in the comments, but that would make sense. That's pretty
Subscribe
cool.
if I'm wrong.
Subscribe if I'm wrong. Or if I'm right. This Stagnation, I also read this one's another kind of very Run Fairy song.
And that's why I like it. Go ahead. Say
Not
what you want to
not
say.
at its detriment.
Say what I want to say. What you
But
want to
it
say.
sounds like if I was at a Ren Fair, this could be playing in the background, and I wouldn't question it.
There will come a soldier who carries a mighty sword.
That's the knife. That's what. All right, track 5 is Dusk. This is actually my favorite from the album. Right now, it is. It kind of changes up a lot.
I was sad this one had to rank lower for me, but I still really like it.
Yeah.
Someone had to.
This is another one where I think having all the members doing backing vocals works a lot.
That's what I said too.
It sounds very nice.
It's very hypnotizing. I think.
Yeah, at the very beginning, you kind of have like the bell or chime, the and then all this strumming. This one is one that like, there's not drumming in most of it, if any of it, I don't remember. But like, they could have just not had a drummer on some of their songs and it would have been fine, you know. So like, again, as kind of non-drummers, we don't really notice the drumming as much because I like the songs that don't even have drumming on them anyway. The flute's really
so
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, the flute. Yeah. The flute is great. All right, closing out, we have track 6, The
Track
Knife.
6, The Knife.
Which is the most, when people kind of point back to this album, they say, oh, The Knife is the good one that you got to go listen to. Because a lot of people put this album down too, which I don't really get.
Losers.
Yeah, they're losers. They don't know.
They're not
They don't
lurkers
know what
like
they're talking
us.
about.
They're not
Yeah.
Ren Fair enjoyers.
But yeah, this one is good. I think it's maybe a little overrated, if I'm being honest.
Thank you. I felt like I got scared and I put this at number 2 because I feel like
You
people would
thought
kill
you had to?
I thought I had to.
I put this at 5.
Did you really?
I like it. I like all the songs on this album.
Wow.
But this one gets the knife. No,
It-
it's good. I think it's good.
It's below Visions of Angels?
No, it's 6.
Oh. Yes, there's 6 songs in this
Yes.
album.
Uh,
You gosh.
I do think it's pretty good. It overall has like the most energy, and it's like the most like kind of rockin' song.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple reasons why people point back to this one and say this is like the one to check out. Is one, I think most of the songs on this album, I guess, lack some of the energy that you would see on like the songs on Nursery Crime or Foxtrot. But The Knife doesn't. It does have that energy kind of throughout the whole thing. It's rollicking. And also, it was on Genesis Live. This is like the only one they would ever kind of bring back on like set lists after this point. I think on last Domino tour, there was like one little musical reference to it in one of their medleys. So this is really the only part of this album that ever kind of gets brought back. I wouldn't, maybe they'd play. I don't know if they played any of the other ones on their tours after this, but on all their live albums, you don't really see anything from this, which I think is a bit of a shame. But The Knife is good.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's definitely not one where I'm like, whoa, why do people like this? I think lyrically it's very creepy and very evocative. It's easy for me to passively listen to Genesis stuff, even though lyrics are so integral to their music. But if I'm doing another task or if I'm driving, but listening to this album again and really focusing on it with more depth, I was like, okay, this is like pretty dark and creepy.
Yeah.
Like everyone and their children will die or something like that. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. There's
kind of fun.
the kind of spoken interlude in the middle-ish, I think it's towards the end more, where you have like kind of these officers. I was reading on that was actually based on the Kent State shootings, where it was like kind of like a Tiananmen Square type thing, where like people were shot. Yeah.
Probably
we'll
not
probably
as
have
much
to
as
censor some of
Tiananmen
that. Yeah. Oh, not as much, but like still like police firing on unarmed college students in America type thing. And then I'm assuming it's Peter Gabriel that does this like shrieking in that. Very Roger Waters.
I was literally
very
gonna
like
say,
what's the
Echo?
song?
Or Careful With That Axe.
Yeah, Careful With That Axe, Eugene. And then another fun prog reference is this song was actually originally going to be called The Nice, as a reference to Keith Emerson's band before ELP. He was in The Nice. And because Tony Banks, he based like all of his kind of organ textures and like style of playing on Keith Emerson.
No way.
So
look at
if
this
that's
guy.
if that's
You're
like
just a
not
Rolodex
true,
of prog
if that's
trivia.
not true, then follow and subscribe. If it is true, follow and subscribe. I guess closing thoughts now. This is a really good album.
Go
I
listen
like it's
to
really
it. If
good.
there's two songs I could commend to people, I think I would do Stagnation and Honestly Looking for Someone.
Yeah.
Would you say Dusk in place of Stagnation? Looking for Someone is such a great song. I think it's such a good song. I don't hear it get its flowers enough.
I would go a step further and just say, if you like prog rock, you should go listen to this album.
Yeah.
All of it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's not a bad song on this album. I think Visions of Angels is meh, but it's not bad. And it has good parts, so it's worth listening to. I think especially if you're a Genesis fan, you should listen to this album. I guess one of the only kind of knocks I could give it as a whole is the production's kind of, their production didn't really get great until kind of Foxtrot Selling England. Even Nursery Crime's kind of not. I mean, it's much better production wise than the last one. But that's really the only thing holding it back is just the production, and then I guess some people say the drumming. I guess sure. I guess they're probably right. But yeah, go listen to it. Especially if you already like prog or Genesis. If you like Jethro Tull, go listen to it.
What's your rating for that one as a whole?
I gave it an 8.6.
I got 8.7.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that would land it.
Locked in.
That would be 8.65, which would land it nice in A tier, which I think is suitable.
Yeah.
I watched Wheel of Prague, which is another people talking about progressive rock mostly. They did a Genesis album like Wheel where they spin and whatever it lands on, that person puts it on a tier list. And they kind of all were like, yeah, this one's D. There was no like people were like, no, like what?
D?
D. Next to this one.
Guys,
Which,
this is why I don't watch
yeah.
Wheel of Prague. Just kidding.
Yeah. Good channel. Go watch it.
That's crazy.
I don't mean to start beef, but that was like sometimes the takes I just can't get,
I guess I'm not enough of a prog head. I just like good music.
I mean, I'm a prog head, and I think this is a great album.
Yeah.
As I've listened to it, it's gotten a little bit higher, sure, but I never disliked this album. I think, again, people just kind of knock it for the drumming and the production being subpar in terms of Genesis' discography, but, like, it's good music. It's very intricate. It's properly Genesis. And, yeah, there's certainly room to grow, as we will see. I do prefer the upcoming albums, but this one's really strong. This one's really good. It gets totally underrated. Yeah, Anthony Phillips would leave The band almost broke up actually after he left because he was such kind of an integral part to them, and he was really good friends with Mike. I guess they kicked the drummer out, John Mayhew, and then kind of the next stop is Nursery Crime, and that's kind of where we get Phil, Steve. That's kind of where it all comes together fully.
Yeah, Steve, Barry, Toshi.
Yeah.
All of them.
Gucci, Toshi, TJ, Parker, Steve, Snuff, Victor.
Does Roger join at that point?
Roger.
Anyway, I guess because we did the rating already.
Yep.
Yeah, go listen to this album. It's good.
Go listen to it.
Go listen to it. Even, I guess if you haven't listened to Genesis, I
feel
wouldn't.
like it's a safe enough starting point if you listen. If you're
you
the
like
kind of person who
folkier-
has a disposition and a willingness to listen to prog, and you can tolerate or perhaps even enjoy really fantasy-inspired pastoral elements. Like, I don't see this album being like a barrier for anyone getting into Genesis.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a bad starting place, but I think there are better starting places for most people. Mm-hmm. Like if you're already kind of into prog and like folkier stuff, I think it's a good place to start. But yeah, go listen to it. It's good. Gets a thumbs up. Two thumbs up.
No, just
one. Yeah, one thumb up each.
Doesn't yours don't you naturally do this? And you've learned to curve
I do this, and then I do this so I look less weird. But I've got a hitchhiker's thumb. I got two hitchhikers. This one gets a hitchhiker's thumb from me.
Our size difference. All right.
All right. Tune in. Next time we're gonna be talking about. Probably next time it's gonna be Paul McCartney.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have a name.
We will probably have a name by then.
We will.
We will.
You will.
We will.
You will come over tonight. No, I won't.
No, I won't.
You will.
You will listen
Yes,
to Paul
you will.
McCartney.
Billions must listen to Paul McCartney's new album.
It'll probably not be as good as this album. Just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
Sorry. I mean, he
Paul.
famously has a very mediocre solo career.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone knows this, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.